In the following interview, Succession Link account manager Diana Cabrizes interviews Dana Branham from LPL Financial on the sale of $5 million in assets under management.
Just want to say first and foremost, Dana, congrats on your success on the platform. And, we're really thankful for you sharing your story with us so that others in the Succession Link community can hear and be inspired. And would really like to start off as well by asking you, how you found out about Succession Link, about our community.
Well, I believe I had heard of it before from some other advisors. However, I just really did a Google search to see what were the best options for finding a buyer for a business. And so I checked out you guys and a couple of others, don't remember the names at all, and then settled on, I like the platform of Succession Link a little better than the others. And even the valuations that you can do kind of upfront to kind of see, they made more sense on the Succession Link side than on the others.
Wonderful. Yes, that is our deal terms calculator that members have access to, which is a very helpful tool to just sort of give you a good starting point for valuation of your practice. Great. Good to hear, though. And then, as far as your experience, what was your experience like from the time you created your Succession Link account and logged in up until you were successfully acquired?
Well, it was a little overwhelming at first because you're getting emails from potential buyers. I wasn't expecting to have that much interest up front, while at the same time I was trying to search through the list of potential buyers to try to identify those that I thought might work, because I had kind of a narrower, pool that I wanted to look at, just given what I know about my business and my clients and so forth. So that was a lot to try to fill those emails and all of those things and stay on top of all of that while still trying to work, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. It is another job in itself, trying to find the right successor for your practice. And then getting into that, when did you first engage with the eventual buyer?
So the eventual buyer actually was one of the first persons who responded to my profile that was on Succession Link. And it just happened to turn out that I was able to kind of check him out through some other sources. We have some mutual friends in the business. It turns out I didn't know that. I just was talking to a friend, and she was also talking to a friend, and it turned out to be that friend who was interested in the business. But he was the eventual buyer and the unlikely one because, like I said, I had a narrow focus at first. I wanted to stick with my broker-dealer, try to make the process a little easier and so forth. But it turned out that that wasn't the best thing that was going to happen.
So really the early bird gets the worm, because as you said, it was one of the first.
Pretty much, because he still, I still had him in my back pocket. Like, well, if all else fails, then I'll kind of get back around to this guy. And so the good thing is he was still interested at that time. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of Succession Link, is that you're presented with so many more options than you would have originally been. Let's say if you decided to go word of mouth or, find somebody local, you've got, people all over the nation interested in your practice. As far as moving forward with the candidate, what was the biggest surprise for you during, let's say, the negotiation process with the buyer?
There weren't too many surprises with this buyer. However, I actually interviewed probably 4 others along the way. The biggest surprise was having not only the valuation from Succession Link, which I was willing to say, okay, maybe that is a little off from what it should be if I needed to, but also having the valuation provided by my broker dealer and having people to question that, to lowball that was the biggest surprise, because I was thinking, no, we all know how this works, and it's kind of standard, and there should be, that's not what I was expecting to negotiate on. I was expecting to negotiate on, okay, then how does that get paid out? Or, what else do you need me to do in the meantime to secure this and all of that? But no, I had to actually end up with those others negotiating. I would have had to negotiate even the pricing far off from what the valuations showed.
Gotcha. Okay. And that sort of brings me actually to my next question. What were the terms of the deal?
So we did really a 3-year deal for the most part, whereas I have a payment up front And that's been actually split into two. So kind of a down payment and then another lump sum up front. And then the remainder will be paid over the next 2 years and is based on a certain percentage of the asset staying, of course. I think that's pretty standard. It'll be paid out quarterly. Over that remainder will be, if there happens to be not, I still will get the same amount of money. It just may be extended if 70% of the assets don't stay. Or, of course, it could be pulled in if some other things happen that are, to the good of the transition.
And now, do you expect all the assets to remain?
I don't see why most of them won't. I don't see why that percent won't be held up. The transition's been going smoothly so far. I have sat in on probably 90% of the meetings with people. They seem to be pleased with the choice. I've explained why this person over this person and why right now and all of those things. So I believe that people will give him the opportunity to do what he does. And I intend to stay not involved as in day to day, but certainly to still stay in touch with the clients because most of them are my friends, or if they weren't before, they become that. So I think as long as I can stay kind of somewhat engaged in the process over the next few years, I think that'll make it better.
Wonderful. And I guess from my experience working with, succession link sellers and sort of seeing the interactions between sellers and buyers, it's almost that the buyers kind of prefer that maybe you're not there all the time, but you still sort of maintain that relationship with the client. Because like you said, they're your clients now and going forward, they may just, more so a friend relationship.
Even one of the clients kept me as the interested party or trusted contact person or something.
Wow.
So I think that'll be good going forward.
Yeah, right. And so what are you going to do now with all of your free time, Dana?
I wish I had free time. So I actually just passed the 24 last week, and I am looking to move into compliance and training. So that was the main reason for wanting to transition out of the day-to-day advising side of the business.
Gotcha. Okay, wonderful. And I guess for anybody else who's listening, what piece of advice would you give to other advisors that are sort of where you were before you joined the Succession Link community?
I would say definitely have your ducks in a row. Know what your business is valued so that you don't compromise, because I almost found myself compromising on the value of the business, the value of all my work over the years for a short-term solution. And then when I kind of took a step back, I said, no, I'm not going to do that because that would compromise everything that I've been working for 6 years. And so knowing the value of the business and then knowing what other terms you want to have on the table. And you always have to compromise, but at least knowing where you would like the agreement to end up is key.
Right.
But overall, the process was certainly made smoother through Succession Link, and I would use that service again if I needed to.
Great. We really love to hear that. And I think, just putting your story out there is great for others to hear who are considering maybe joining the platform or unsure. We're really, really glad that you shared your story with us. This will definitely be helpful for other people in the community. And, if you ever want to come back, like you said, we are always going to be here. So it's been a pleasure speaking with you, Dana. I really appreciate your time today. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your mini retirement / going into compliance. Okay, bye-bye.